Hello everybody, welcome back to my page. My name's Laura with Chocolates Chocolate Designs. Say hello when you jump on, hit that heart button for me, and in just a minute I'm going to give you a keyword to type in. When you type in that keyword, you're going to get a long list of supplies for tonight for a bunch of stuff that we're going to kind of dive into a little bit because I had a special request today. And via this special request, we are going to be looking at a whole bunch of different projects, the ins, the outs, the do's, the don'ts, and all of that stuff that goes along with it. So here's everybody jumping on here. I love that for you guys. If there are any of these products though that you'd like to get that are available on my site, the link to all of them will be in that keyword that I give you as soon as I get this pulled up. Okay, there it is. And it's turned on. All right, so the keyword for today is extras. No glue gun tonight. You guys, we are actually kind of sort of not doing a project. So I get a lot of questions about a whole bunch of different stuff. And today we're just kind of going to go over things. And we're going to go over a whole bunch of things so that everybody kind of knows the best way to take care of their transfers and what they can and cannot do when it comes to using different products, okay? Hi, Anne. Hey, Lorraine. Hello, Melinda and Linda. Hi, Christine. Hello, everybody. Hey, Kimberly. Hello, Ruth and Jennifer. Hey, Vicky. Hi, Kelly and Lena. Hello, Cheryl and Carol. Hey, Darlene and Mary Jo. Hey, Lisa Marie. Hello, Janet Mountains in the house. Hi, Brenda. Hello, Laura Lund. Hey, Ginger and Jackie. Hello, Janet. Hi, Wanda Kay and Colleen. I'm going to scroll down, you guys. There are 38 more comments. Holy cow. So hello to all the other of my friends who have jumped on. I get questions all of the time about a whole bunch of different stuff. And I just know that every time somebody sends me a question, they're not the only one, okay? There's always more than one person with the same question. And I kind of wanted to just jump on and go through all this stuff with you guys tonight. Yay, Christine, she hit tier 1. Awesome. Golf was fun, but we only did 7 holes because it was getting close to bedtime. We had to come home. Hello, hey, and howdy to you too, Pam. So extras is the keyword. Here we go, you guys. We're going to go ahead and dive into this. Hopefully the person who asked me for this is on here, but I did not see her name because I had to scroll down. So let's go ahead and get started talking about just some of the things that are available on my site. I know, no sweatshirt tonight because it was like 80 degrees outside, and now I'm wearing my husband's work shirt because it fits me better than my own golf clothes. Won't be his work shirt for very long because you guys, he's getting a new job and he starts in a week and a half, and I'm so excited for him. Okay, there she is. Okay, you guys, here we go. Here we go. Let's talk about some of this stuff, what you can and can't do, the best practices. I don't even know how to put this without sounding mean. Y'all, let me just walk you through it, okay? We have a whole bunch of stuff, and I know that sometimes it can be confusing as to what you want, what you don't want, what it does, what it doesn't do, what you can use for this, what you can use for that. Let's just set the record straight. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with some of our Dixie Belle. I know, right? I'm super excited about it. Let's go ahead and start off with some of our Dixie Belle products, okay? So let's start off with these. These right here are called chameleon waxes. And we have got several different colors of chameleon wax, okay? So this right here, oops, you guys, apricot, do I have them all sitting here? I feel like I'm missing one. I'm not. I am, somewhere, I don't know, I thought we had one more. Okay, I've got apricot, I've got lilac, and I've got cactus. I still feel like there's one more. But these right here are not something that you want to put through a transfer. These are kind of to accentuate your project if you're going to paint with them or something like that. And where are those other things at that I'm looking for? Y'all, I thought I was ready. Oh, of course I don't see them now. We did something with these not long ago. Where did I put them? I don't even remember. Okay, let's just use the squares. All right, I'm going to use just some wood. Oh no, Mona, I hope you start to feel better. These are just wood planks from the Dollar Tree. And we're only using these tonight because it's a cheap piece of wood that I can use as a demonstration piece, okay? So, there's only, okay, good. I thought there was less than that in this box. All right, so let's check out the Chameleon Wax first. We're also going to check out the Gilding Wax with this. But what I want to do on here first is give this a coat of paint so you can see what it does, okay? So, let's go ahead and use our chalk paste. You can use, for painting a surface, you guys, you can use your paste. You can use any kind of paint that you want to, but I'll tell you the differences between them so that you are aware. I'm getting it. Slowly but certainly I'm getting it. All right. I'm going to paint this in 3 different sections. Hi, Dottie. And you guys, be sure to ask questions as we go along. And if I miss your question, just ask it again. Because I want to make sure that y'all understand, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just paint part of this right here in white so that you can see how this reacts to different colors, okay? So we've got a white right there. You guys see the white? The second one, oh my gosh, Mona. Then we're going to do the other part here with some black. And this is just my paste. This is just my chalk paste, y'all. You could use paint to paint this surface if you want to. Anything you want. We're just wanting to change the color of the surface, so that y'all get an idea of what the Chameleon Wax will do. Okay. And I will end up flipping this over and doing the other side too. All right, let's try this up real quick. Hello, Miss Tina. So in the middle, I did leave this to be just white. I'm sorry, just the wood color. Just the wood color. Now you guys, let's see. Let me do one more thing here real quick. Let's add a color in the middle. Hi, Beth. Let's add a color. A little bit of color somewhere. Any old color. Let's just use this one right here. This is sage. How come you use a sponge to paint? Just because it was the first thing that was right there and it was easy for me. You can use a paintbrush. What you use to paint really does not make a difference. Doesn't make a bit of difference at all. I'm going to go ahead and just paint a thin stripe of the green right here, just so you guys can see what happens when it hits a different color. Okay, so we've got white. We've got green, because it's just a different color. We've got wood tone, and we have got black, okay, for the Chameleon Wax. Now, I want you guys to be aware that the Chameleon Wax is an oil-based wax. What that means is that if you're using a paintbrush or anything with that, because it's an oil-based, you are going to need some kind of a paint thinner to clean your brushes. Me personally, I'm going to show you all of that, Stephanie. We're going to do the Gilding Wax today too. I'm just showing all the different products right now and kind of going through a little guide of all the different products. We're going to do Gilding Wax in just a minute. So these are the Chameleon Waxes. They're oil-based. Why would you use the chalk paste to paint a surface? Wouldn't you use... Linda, you can use either one. You can absolutely paint with chalk paste. You can. Or you can paint with chalk paint. It does not matter. I tend to paint a little more often with the chalk paint rather than the chalk paste, just because, well, Waverly's cheap, you guys. And if I'm making a big surface, then I want to use a cheaper product. Okay? Yes, demo product day. Yay! All right, let's go ahead and look at these Chameleon Waxes. And I'm going to explain the difference with everything as we go along. So when you're using a brush, let's say like this, you guys, with a Chameleon Wax, because it's wax, you are going to want some kind of a paint thinner or something to clean your brushes. Personally, I have a little bitty, you guys, a mason jar that I keep in my craft room, and inside I have a paint thinner. I use mineral spirits. Use any kind of paint thinner that you've got, but you're gonna need a paint thinner to clean an oil-based paint. It's just how it goes. It doesn't clean out of paintbrushes very easily, okay? So let's go ahead and we're gonna start with the color Lilac. Oh, that was dried. And I'm just gonna put some lilac on a brush. Y'all, this is just for demonstration purposes, okay? We're not making anything pretty with this. We're just going to see what happens when it changes. And I'm going to put a couple of strips of the lilac going straight down on all of those different colors so you can see what it does. Okay? I got it thick right there in that spot. All right. So there's the lilac. Now this does have an odor. It does have an odor. It is kind of strong. I'm just going to open this up. I'm actually going to put this back here so that I don't spill it because I don't want paint thinner all over my floor. That way I've got a place to put my brushes, and I'm just going to set them in there until you bought these. So these are really cool because it gives kind of a metallic look to your projects. But I feel like it works best on darker colors. Personally, just what I think, and I think you guys will mostly agree. Do these rub off? No, these will not rub off. And you do want to seal them back on there very, very well. All right, so you guys can see this is what happens with the lilac color. You can see on the white, you can see it a little bit. It kind of gives, like, especially in different lighting, it does change a little bit. Same with the green. The wood, it really didn't do much of anything, but when you have it on black, am I too close to the camera? When you have it on black, oh, I hope it'll focus. You can see what it does there, and it gives this really pretty lilac color, okay? Let's try the apricot and see what happens with the apricot. You love it on the black? Me too. So the next one we're going to do right in the middle here is called apricot. You could use these. Okay, so let's say you're going to do a butterfly. Let's say you're going to make a butterfly. You could make the inside part of the butterfly in black, like paint it in black, and then use these over top of it to give a metallic sheen to the butterfly wings. You could do the same thing with like flowers, things like that. Honestly, you guys, YouTube is going to be a friend of yours for learning how to do different things with Dixie Belle products. People will also use these on tables to change out the looks of tables and things. I've seen these used on so many different things, and they're just gorgeous. So that middle one there is called apricot. And you can see, you guys, it really changes on the darker colors. Really changes on the darker colors. Oop, I just threw that in the water. I don't want that one in the water. I want that one over here. All right. Highlights on a frame. Yes. And then when it hits the light, it just shines differently. I missed that comment. Going to try it on a vintage frame painted black. Oh, that would be gorgeous. You do want to hammer these back down. Okay. Let's put these back here because I got a lot of stuff on my table tonight. And then we're going to try the one called Cactus. Cactus is like the green color. And I love the cactus. Can't use it on fabrics, right? This right here is the chameleon wax. The chameleon wax. This is not the gilding wax. All right, so there it is on all of those colors. And you can see how that awesome that looks on the black there with that green. So the green one is called Cactus. The middle one there, you look at how metallic and gorgeous that is. And I know that my light's not, or my camera's not letting that really focus very well, but they're just beautiful. So Cactus, Apricot, and Lilac are the 3 colors in the Chameleon Wax that we carry on my site, okay? And they will dry, and once they dry, they're permanent. They're very pretty. On the black, it's very pretty, yes. On white, I mean, you can see it, but you just don't see it very, very well. So let me dry this up and see if that helps for it to stand out a little bit more. You can definitely tell that there's a metallic sheen on there. But on the black, it absolutely pops. I can see it. These are Dixie Belle products that are available on my website. Yes, we have partnered with Dixie Belle to provide some of their products. All right. That looks great. Hopefully, I don't know which way I should turn this. And I do know that my camera gets fuzzy, and I think part of that is because I'm behind it. And it wants to focus on me. Maybe I'll hide. And you can see, even on the white, you can definitely see that there's some difference in the color there. Okay? Yes, wax removes wax. You got your acrylic frame in today. Going to do the windmill and flat. Yay! Yay! All right, I'm going to put this one aside so this can dry a little bit better. It's still slightly tacky. I'm getting a little bit. Do they have chalk paints also? Yes, Dixie Belle does sell chalk paint. And we're going to go over that in a little bit, the difference between paint and paste, because there is a difference, okay? All right, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to grab out another one of these little wood planks. And we're going to look at the Gilding Wax by Dixie Belle. Very, very similar, but also different. I just squirted some water in my black there, you guys, just so that it's easier to paint with. This is my paste. I'm using my paste to paint with tonight. You could absolutely paint your surface with paint if you want to. Okay. So here we go. We're going to put some black on here. And I'm just using a sponge because it's easy. No rhyme or reason. But I want to show you guys how it looks on different colors. Y'all, I have so much stuff over here to show you too. Hi, Loretta. I missed that. I think. Hi, Cheryl. My day was good, you guys. It was 83 degrees here today. It was insane. So I should have been working, getting all my flyers ready for month end and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't because it was too nice outside and it's spring cleaning. So I went outside and I cleaned it. We have a refrigerator in our backyard, you guys. And the refrigerator is like, it's built into our shed and it faces out. So you don't have to go inside the shed to get stuff out of it. It faces the yard. Okay. So we're able to just walk up to the shed and grab a drink right out of our refrigerator. Well, over the winter, this fridge gets nasty. It gets nasty. So I went out there today and I like deep cleaned that refrigerator, threw away all the stuff from last year that has frozen and defrosted and just was gross, especially since it got unplugged for part of the winter and it shouldn't have. Deep cleaned that whole thing. And then I went up to Sam's Club and I got all of our Gatorades and water and, oh my gosh, some, looked like I got some sun today. Got Gatorades and water and some flavored waters and a whole bunch of stuff and stocked that refrigerator, juice boxes and, oh, just a bunch of stuff. And stocked that refrigerator back up with all the stuff to last us throughout most of the summer. It makes it's so much easier when you've got a big yard to have a refrigerator closer to the activities than all the way back up at the house. So that's what I did today. And then ran a bunch of errands. I had some Amazon returns. I had some stuff to drop off at the post office. I had to go to Home Depot. I had a bunch of stuff I had to run and do today. But it was a good day to be outside. Okay, I just did the same thing on this one. Black, wood, and white. It was pouring all day. Oh no, and your pond is overflowing. Oh my goodness, girl. That's supposed to be us tomorrow. And I don't want it. So, send it somewhere else. Send it somewhere else. That's why I had to get out there and do all that today too, because we're going to get rain this weekend. Oh, shucks, I didn't mean to tip that upside down. Again, you guys, this right here is the Dixie Belle Gilding Wax. It is an oil-based product, just like the Chameleon Wax. So again, if you're painting with this and using a paintbrush, you are going to want to put that paintbrush into some kind of a paint thinner in order to be able to get those clean, okay? Or use a disposable one. Hi, Lance. Okay, so we have got 4 different colors of gilding wax. This one is gold. We also have, this one is bronze. We might even have more colors than that in gilding wax. I might not have them all, you guys. I don't think I do. I have to place an order then. This one is called zinc, and then this one right here is silver. I think we have more than that. I don't think I have them all. I'll show you what I've got, though. All right, let's grab out 4 brushes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good thing I got a ton of brushes. And let's just start off with the silver, okay? And let's see how this changes wood, how this changes a white surface or a light surface, and how it changes a dark surface. Copper. I don't have copper, do I? Oh, shucks. I don't have copper. I got to order copper. I thought I had them all. And I'm missing one. You're so welcome. Yes, you can always go back to the replay. They do stink. They are potent in smell because they are oil-based. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to put this in a stripe going all the way down. This is the Gilding Wax in silver. And you can see that with the Gilding Wax, it pretty much holds its color on all 3 different colors, whether we're on the wood, we're on the white, or whether we're on the black. But I do, again, I think the silver, I think, looks best on the black. Personal preference, though. Copper is gorgeous. Oh, I've got to get the copper one. I need it. I'll have to order it tomorrow. All right, this one right here is the zinc. Zinc is kind of like a blue. So yes, Ruth, Facebook will remove my videos after 30 days, but I have started immediately after I get off of my live. I get my things cleaned up and then I download my video and I move it over to YouTube. And so I'm working on getting all of my content moved over to YouTube currently, so that everything stays. So basically everything, I'm going to lose some stuff from March, but hopefully I'll be able to keep everything else. Same thing. Yeah, you'd be able to use these for the same thing. I use these on frames a lot, just to decorate up a frame. So soon enough, y'all. And you guys can search for me by name, Chocolates Chocolat, on YouTube, and you should be able to see that there's like, probably 4 videos in there so far. It's not a lot. It's some, but I'm working on it. It takes a long time, y'all, to get all that downloaded. And I have 90 days to do it. Actually, probably like 60 now. All right, so we've got the, let's see, silver. We've got zinc. This one right here is bronze. And I'm also working on my own web page. That also takes some time. But there will be a chocolateschocolate.com eventually. .com. All right, so that brown one there is called zinc. Oh, I agree, Cassie. I agree. Everyone's going over to YouTube because Facebook just is deleting their content. Nobody wants that. Can we send them to our messenger to keep them? I don't think so, Christine. I don't. I think that I think that even if you keep it in your saved folder in the Book of Faces, it's still going to delete it after 30 days, unfortunately. That's just what Facebook is doing. And it's not fun. It's not fair. And it's really hard for us content creators who have spent years building a vault of information. Yep, that one was bronze, and then this one right here is the gold. And these are pretty consistent in color, unlike the chameleon waxes. Going all the way down, okay? So there's the colors that I've got. Silver, zinc, copper, and gold. Silver, zinc, copper, and gold, okay? There we have it. That is the gilding wax. Silver, zinc. Oh, you're right. Bronze. You're right. It's bronze. That's right. I said copper. It's bronze. Silver, zinc, bronze, and gold. Okay, so let's look again at the differences. This is the chameleon wax, remember? And this is the gilding wax. You guys can see the difference in the two. And they are gorgeous. They are gorgeous. All right. That's a start, right? Gotta make sure those are nice and close because, like I said, they do smell. They do have an odor to them. All right. Let's keep going, you guys. Let's go through all of this stuff. Let's go through all of this stuff that I've got sitting here. Next, can we try? You can try, but I think that if you're emailing the link to yourself, the link itself is going to be gone after that 30 days. It is what it is. I don't know, you guys. All right, I'm going to do these ones on the back. Do you want to wipe them to thin them? I don't usually. Do you guys usually wipe them? I'll try wiping it and see what happens. If you wipe it, it doesn't really, it kind of thins it. It just kind of wipes it in. You don't have to, but yes, you can. Can't send them to email because you still have to open the link and it won't be there. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So I wiped them and it just kind of spread it out and thinned it a little bit. Yeah, I guess you can. I usually don't. I just let it dry like that. The middle ones are, I know, right? It's not fair. It's not fair. Okay. Let's move on, you guys. Let's move on. So right on the back of this one here, let's go ahead and start talking about the voodoo stains, okay? So we've got several voodoo stains that we offer. Here's 3 of them. I'm hoping that they'll bring out some more. And these are a wood stain. A baby wipe will blend them. That's good to know. These are a wood stain, but they're odorless, which is so much better for those people who have got those like allergies or they're sensitive to different odors. They're water-based though, so they do separate and you need to give them a good shake before you use them. We have 3 different colors currently. Dixie Belle has several more, but there are only 3 that we have on our website, okay? So this is what they look like. They come in a little container like this. And I am going to use a baby wipe. No, I'm going to use just a towel. I'm going to use a towel. You guys, this is just a flour sack towel from Walmart. I cut it into pieces to use it for different things. And then that way I can just throw it away. It's like a shop rag to me. Okay? It's like a shop rag to me. So these are odorless and they are water-based. So let's go ahead and check out the Up in Smoke. Now, the darker your surface is that you're starting with, let's say you've got a different kind of wood that's darker, this is going to change color a little bit, but it'll give you an idea of what this is going to look like, okay? So I'm just going to put a little bit of this stain on here, and then take my cloth and we're going to rub it in. We're not looking to paint with this. We want to stain this wood surface with this color, okay? And you can absolutely do multiple layers. Do a layer and let it dry. Do another layer and let it dry. And make it darker or lighter if you want to. So this one right here is, that one right there is called Tobacco Road. Or I'm sorry, Up in Smoke. Up in Smoke is gray and it looks like a smoke color. I wish my camera would focus better on that. All right, next one is called Au Naturel. And this is a light brown, a very light brown. So if you're doing this on a darker color wood, it'll probably show up more, hey, Becky, than when it's going to show up for me. But we're just going to let that kind of soak in there a little bit. And rub it in. And that one right there, oh, Au Naturel is very, very pretty. That second one there now is Au Naturel. Very pretty. And they're just twist top caps, you guys. So you can use these on a surface to stain it before you put your transfer down, but you are going to want a layer of surface wax in between. And then this one right here is my favorite. This one's my favorite, you guys. It's called Tobacco Road, and it's a darker brown. They all have a great purpose. They're all fantastic, and they are all meant to be used on a wood surface, okay? I have a little bit of a booger there, so hopefully it'll come out. There it goes. Yeah. All right, so a little bit of this right here. Hi, Margie. And this one right here is Tobacco Road. I'm not going to go quite to the edge of this board just so you can see how it started versus how it ended, just for comparison. Okay, so you just wipe these on and wipe them back off like you would with any other stain. But like I said, they're water-based and they're odorless. So it's a lot nicer for a craft space to have these stains in there. Oh, they do need a cherry one. So you guys, Up in Smoke, hopefully you can see, let me hide my face so it quits focusing on me. Up in Smoke, Au Naturel, and Tobacco Road. Those are the three colors that we've got currently. Simple to use. See, it focuses so much more when I can't see my face. Up in Smoke, Au Naturel, and Tobacco Road. They're gorgeous. Gorgeous way to stain your wood. Love these. Love those. Okay, what's next, you guys? I've got a ton of stuff sitting here. A whole ton of stuff. Let's talk about different paints. If you do a second, yes, it will get darker if you do a second color. Dixie Belle has colored stain too. Yes, I'm hoping that we get all the things. I want the whole Dixie Belle line. I want to just be Dixie Belle and Chalk Couture collided. I love all their products. All right, you guys, next up, let's talk about paints and paste. So I'm going to tell you guys, first of all, for these surfaces, because they've been waxed or painted first before you put your transfer down, you do need to wax your surface. Where do you get your mat? This one right here. It's available on my site under accessories. I think it's still available. All right, I'm going to be using a collection of minis, and you guys, let me tell you, most of these minis that are in here are currently retired. You can't get them. I just happen to have a whole little container here of used minis. that I keep for just for tutorial purposes only. Instead of breaking out a whole new transfer and cutting it up every single time that I want to do a tutorial, I keep a bunch of these minis just sitting in a container here, okay? Please don't get mad that I'm using a retired product. It's just for demonstration purposes. I try not to do that, but y'all, I don't want to get out a whole new transfer when I've got all these sitting here just to show you what something does, okay? All right, here we go. Let's talk about the difference between paint and paste. All right, so there are different things that you can get in the stores. For example, Waverly chalk paint, acrylic paint. You could go to Home Depot and you could get a latex paint. And then there is also chalk paste. Okay. Oh, yay! Okay, so let's talk about what you use. And then there's also chalk ink, you guys, Chalkology ink. So let's talk about these a little bit and what you want to use and when you want to use it, okay? I want you guys to keep in mind that your transfers that you're getting from my website are not a stencil, okay? Even though it says Chalk Couture stencil transfers, when you're asking me, I'm always going to call it a transfer. And the reason for that, you guys, let's look at what a stencil is. In my opinion, and I have some, let me grab them. In my opinion, when I'm talking about crafting supplies, these right here, let me get one out. Of course, it's not an easy open because only chalk does the easy stuff you can put back. The mats aren't on the site anymore? What? Well, then you can get them at Michael's. That stinks. I was going to order another one too. Okay, so in my opinion, I can't use that one, you guys. Not the pineapple. Oh, this is perfect. How did I not know I had this? I could have been using this one all month long. Okay, in my opinion, this right here is a stencil. Okay? There is nothing keeping me from putting my finger right through this whole piece right here, okay? What happens with stencils, though, is that it's very hard. You can pounce them, but it's very hard to get, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't get the cleanest transfer with a stencil. You have more chance of your paint or your paste or whatever you're using going underneath it. And with the transfers, because they stick down to the surface and they're reusable, it's so much easier to get a really clean and crisp design than it is with a stencil. So in my opinion, this is a stencil, okay? And ours, and you can also get a lot more intricate. You guys see how they got to have little lines to keep them together. You can't really get too detailed with a stencil. Where with our transfer, because it's all held together with the silk screen part, okay, you can't stick your finger through there. There's a silk screen right there, okay, that's keeping that all together. But that allows us to have a lot more detail to our transfers than what you can get in a stencil. Okay, does that make sense? This is a stencil. This is a transfer. That's how I call them. It's how I see it. It's how I'll always see it, and you won't change my mind. Hi, Jeannie. Okay, so when you're using a stencil like this, you guys can use paste, paint, anything you want to, because you're just dabbing the paint on here. And you got to tape this down. You got to do your thing in order to get the stencil to go through. And then you're filling in all of those extra little cracks to make your A not have a line through there. Whatever. You can do anything that you need to with a stencil. But because our transfers have that silk screen in there, which allows you to have more of an intricate design, there are certain products that you cannot put through the transfer. Because if it dries in that silk screen, it's going to ruin it. Okay? It will ruin it. So let's talk about this. Okay. If it says that it is a paint, you guys, I want you to look at Waverly. Darlene says, I can't work with a stencil. I agree. Waverly says, Waverly Inspirations, chalk, matte finish, no prep, acrylic paint. Okay? This is a paint. With any kind of paint, if it dries in your silkscreen, it becomes permanent and it's not going to wash back out. Okay? Even though it says chalk, chalk is the finish of it. All right? So, acrylic paint, same thing. You don't want to put those through your silkscreen because if the paint dries in the silkscreen, you're not going to be able to wash that back out. Latex paint, same thing. It's a paint. Don't put it through your silkscreen. What you need to use in your transfers is always going to be a paste. Okay? A paste is different than a paint because it's water soluble and they're made for our transfers. Now listen, you guys, there are different kind of pastes that can be used. Chalkology paste is one of them. Torch paste can be used for wood burning. Yes, it can be confusing if you don't know. Absolutely. Okay, torch paste can be used for wood burning. Modeling paste is water soluble and can be used in your silkscreen transfers, okay? It's water soluble, you guys. You can do that with modeling paste. Or there's a product called Armor Etch, which is also water soluble and can be used through your transfers. And we're going to go through these in a little bit more detail in just a little bit. So even though you can't use these paints through your silkscreen transfers, you can absolutely use any of these products to paint the background. Okay, for example, up here, when I did this one, the strawberries one, we painted the pink with Waverly chalk paint. We painted the white with Waverly chalk paint. The red on the strawberries was chalk paint. Even I think I even did the little black things on the strawberries with paint. But when it came to using my transfer, because it's silkscreen, you guys, I made sure to use my paste for the words because that was what I was using my transfer on. Okay, so anytime you're using your transfer, you need to make sure that you're using a paste and not a paint so that you can clean it out. And if you don't, and you decided to use a paint anyway, if you can't get it out of there, your transfer will be ruined. Okay, so make sure that you're always using a paste through the transfer. Paint for anything else. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Does it make sense? I hope that it does. I really hope that it does. I'm trying to clear this up instead of making things more confusing. So these are always going to be a background. Now, you guys, which one do I recommend? Which one do I recommend? You can paint with acrylic, absolutely. You can paint with latex, absolutely. But by far, bar none, chalk paint for a background is what I always recommend. And I say this because chalk sticks best to chalk. Okay? So if you paint your background with a chalk-based paint, a chalk paint, and then you put a transfer over top of it with the chalk paste, your chalk paste is going to stick better to chalk paint than it will to anything else. We're going to get there, Mary Jo. We are going to get there, girl. Makes sense. And how, yes. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. That makes sense. And how you could spray and clean it later. Yes. So like you guys will see on my lives, I'll spray it on my transfer when I get done using it. And it'll sit there for a good 45 minutes later before I actually take it to my sink and wash it. I can't do that with paint because a lot of the times the cure time on this is like, 30 minutes? And then it's done for. You make your own chalk paint. There you go, Lise. Yes, chalk to chalk is always best. Always best. But you can use these other things. All right? You can, absolutely. But, y'all, if you are going to use an acrylic or a latex, that is absolutely perfectly fine, Deborah, yes. If you are using a latex or an acrylic, or even if you just want to make sure that you secure your paste onto the surface so that it doesn't chip and flake off, there are different ways that you can seal it. So let's talk about that for a second, okay? You guys, let's talk about sealers. How do I make this strawberry thing right here absolutely permanent to where I could hang this on my door outside and it's not, the weather's not going to mess with it, and it's going to last, and it's not going to flake. I'm not going to be able to scratch it off, all of that kind of stuff. I want to make the whole thing permanent. There are a couple of ways that you can do this, okay? A couple of ways. One way, and I'll tell you guys, one way that you can is with Dixie Belle Gator Hide, okay? I sell this product in my shop. But, you guys, let me tell you, this is not my preferred choice. And I'm probably going to take some crap from the company for saying that. This is not my preferred choice. The reason that I say that is because this is a water-based sealer that you can paint over top of your project to seal your project. The problem is that when you put water back on top of your chalk paste, it can reactivate it and cause it to smear. Okay? So yes, you can use this. If you do use this, you want to load up your brush and you want to make quick, easy passes with it and try to have as few brush strokes as possible so that you don't have time to let it sit in that chalk paste and let it absorb that water and reactivate the paste, okay? Because then it's just going to brush and it's going to smear. And I don't want that for you. Yes, the keyword for tonight is extras. You can check out all of the stuff in my shop. So this is a way to do it, but like I said, it's not my preferred method. My preferred method, my go-to, my favorite way to seal projects, and I'll tell you guys, I live in Michigan. During the wintertime, I don't seal my projects even when you guys purchase them. I just can't. My favorite way to seal projects is right here, you guys. I will take them outside with a clear matte spray paint. And I will spray them down with a clear matte spray paint to seal them. You won't notice any difference in your project at all. This is just going to go over top and it's going to hold it down to... You received stuff from my auction. It looks gorgeous on my wall. You're so welcome, Christy. This right here is going to seal it and protect it if you're using chalk paste, okay? This is the one I recommend. Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch, or there's also a Krylon also has one that's a clear matte. But you do want to do this outside because it's a spray point paint and you will have those fumes in your area. Like I said, here in Michigan, it gets too cold for me to spray paint things outside. It just won't cure, and it remains tacky if it's not warm enough to do it. Okay, so that's what I recommend as a sealer. So you too, right, Diane? Yes, because you're my neighbor. Girl, Diane! Oh my gosh, girl, just so you know, we were golfing in Flushing today. So I would use this to seal anything that's not a textile. Okay, I wouldn't spray this on a tea towel. I wouldn't spray this on a shirt because those are things that you're going to use ink, and when you seal ink, you do it with heat, and that makes it permanent. So anything you're doing chalk paste on, this is my recommended, my go-to, my favorite thing to use to seal my projects. This one, honest to goodness, you guys, I wouldn't lie to you. I make commissions if you buy it. And I'm telling you guys, for our products, I don't think that it's the best. Yes, I was on Flushing Road, girl. That's where I was golfing today. Okay. All right, you guys, I still got some more stuff to show you. All right, so let's now talk a little bit about the different kinds of chalk paste, okay? Because we've got a couple different kinds. We do. We have, this is my black one, you guys. Our regular chalk paste. So if you're looking at black velvet, bright white, eucalyptus, meadow, any of those that are just like a simple name kind of colors, are going to be like a matte paint, a matte chalk paste, I should say. Don't ever want to use the word paint. Then we've also got what's called shimmers, okay? Shimmers have little bits of glitters inside the paste. Let me tell you guys, if you try to mix glitter with the matte stuff, it will not work. It won't work. What you're going to do is you're going to end up painting your glitter and you just made it chunky. I do not know how they do this so that those specks that are in here don't get covered with black. It's a miracle to me. I can't figure it out. I just don't get it. But pouring glitter into your paste is not going to give you the same effect. Okay, so we've got the matte pastes, we've got the shimmer pastes, and then we have the metallic ones. Nominee is metallic. We've got metallic eggshell blue. Okay. We don't have a metallic black, you guys. We just don't. So I'm going to use the back of this one now, and I want to show you guys the difference between the three. Okay. Let's grab a little bit more of this black. Shimmers are so gorgeous because they really do have they are gorgeous. Yes. They are gorgeous, but there's also a downside to them. Okay, so this is just painting with the black. Painting with the black. The black paints very nicely, okay? You can water it down. It does help. Then, and you guys, the sponge brushes have nothing to do with anything. I'm only using them because I got them. And they're easy to clean. Hi, Carol. And I'm trying to grab some more down here from my bucket. All right, so that's the matte one. Now here's a shimmer. And I love our shimmers so much. And this one's going to make a liar out of me, of course. That one actually did cover fairly well. Most of the time the shimmers don't give a very good coverage. But that one did, and you can see the little shimmers in there. Wendy says, I find it hard to clean transfers after using shimmers. And that can be a case because it does leave glitter on your transfers. And it's really hard to wash glitter out of anything. Okay? So with the shimmers, it's like a matte, but with shimmer to it. With the metallics, they cover really well when you're painting too. But it has that shine like the gilding wax does. Okay, so any of the metallics are going to give you that gilding wax shine that you don't get with the shimmers. Now, I've also got out here some shimmer gold. Ooh. Let's see what I can do with the shimmer gold, you guys. Because the shimmer gold was one that I always had a hard time painting with. It just doesn't paint the same as the other ones. But they've also changed up the formula. Okay, so you guys, look at this. I'm painting with the shimmer gold. And you can see the background behind it, and it's kind of clumpy. So I don't recommend painting with a shimmer color because it doesn't give very good coverage. Most of the time with the shimmers, it doesn't give very good coverage. Find a metallics you need to paint in one direction for even color. Yes, that definitely does help. Thank you for that tip, Tina. All right. I think we covered, is there any questions at all about chalk paste versus paint versus any of that kind of stuff? Are we pretty clear on all of that stuff now? I think I covered all of that. All right. You agree that the shimmers don't paint very well? That's what I'm saying. What you can do to combat that is find a light color, and paint with the light color, and then do the shimmer over top. But again, it just kind of leave a little bit of a chunkiness to it, and you're gonna have a harder time getting your transfer to lay down flat on a shimmer color. However, shimmers are fantastic for your transfers. Let me just dry this a little bit so I don't set my fingers all in blacks, okay? It just got dimmer in here for a minute. Oh my gosh! All right. So there's another product that we carry. We have chalk paste. Did I get my black lids mixed up? I might have. No, I have them right. I got them right, Brenda. But thank you for making me double check, just to be sure. All right. So we've got chalk paste, and then we also have Chalkology ink. Yes. Yes. Okay. So paste is what you're going to use in your transfers if you're doing a chalkboard surface. If you're going to do a wood surface, if you're going to do an acrylic surface, if you're going to do cardboard, almost anything that you can think of. Christy, send me a message tomorrow, okay? Obviously tonight I'm going to be tired. Okay. So your paste is going to be for all of those kind of surfaces. Anything where you don't need to wash it, okay, you can use paste. Because your paste is going to go on creamy dreamy, and then when it dries, it's going to dry hard. And on some surfaces, you can spray it down, you can scrape it, and then you can reuse those surfaces, and you can wash the paste off. It's a semi-permanent, okay? Your inks, on the other hand, are a permanent, but they do not dry hard like the paste does. So you're not going to want to use this on wood. You're not going to want to use this on chalkboard or anything like that because it's just not going to dry properly for you. This right here needs to go on some kind of a textile or glass or something, or ceramic, things that you can heat set either with an iron like this, or with your stove, okay? And if you guys are in my VIP group, you can definitely go in the guides, and there's a guide that will, a flyer in the guides that will show you the different things you can use different products on. So your ink is going to be used for shirts. You could do this on, you could ink on glass and then heat set it in your oven, and then it becomes permanent. You can do this on ceramics and heat set in your oven, and then it becomes permanent. Tea towels, anything that would be a fabric or anything that you can wash, okay, you want to use ink for. All right? Think we're good there? I think we're good. Okay. What else do I have for you guys? Whoo! Whoo! Okay. Let's talk about a couple other things. Because why not, right? Okay. No Pain Gel Stain is another product that's fairly new to us. The temperature of your oven. How would you heat set glass in your oven? Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and do this. Dive into the heat setting in your oven. All right. Thank you, Shirley. Okay, so if you were to take, let's say, let me look up here, you guys. Let's look at the ceramic mug. Okay, I got these at the Dollar Tree. At the Dollar Tree. So, you guys, hypothetically speaking, and I can do a live on this soon if you guys want me to. You can take your transfer. Any old transfer. Oh, that one's all. Here we go. Not today, Satan. You can put your transfer on there. You can put ink through this. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to let this sit for at least 24 hours, you guys. Maybe even 48 hours. You've got to let that ink completely dry, and it has to dry naturally, okay? Let it sit for a couple of days, and then you're going to put it in your oven, in a cold oven, you guys. You don't preheat your oven. Put it in a cold oven on a cookie sheet. Turn your oven on to 200 degrees. Set a timer for 1 hour. When the timer goes off, turn the heat in your oven off and leave this in there until your oven is completely cooled back down. Okay, so the process does take several hours. There's no fumes from ink. Your ink is water-based, it's non-toxic, it's kid-friendly, and there's no fumes. So you can absolutely put the ink in your oven and not have any problems whatsoever. There's no fumes with our ink. Edwina, you can absolutely use this in your oven. Okay? All of our products, you guys, our paste and our ink is non-toxic, kid-friendly, and water-soluble. So if your 3-year-old grandson gets a hold of it and puts a bunch in his mouth, it's not a big deal. Just make him take a glass of water, and it's not going to hurt him one bit. Our stuff is all non-toxic. Do you open the door to cool? No. You just leave it in there until your oven's cooled back down. And then when you pull it out, you're good to go. You should be able to put it in the dishwasher. But I do recommend hand washing. But you should be able to put it in the dishwasher. You did that and left it in the dry for 1 day, put it in the oven like I was supposed to, and within 2 weeks it peeled off. Oh no, Brenda, you might not have let it dry for long enough. So try 48 hours instead of just 24 hours. That's the only thing that I can recommend. I've done a bunch of them. Mine have all lasted, so I don't know. Did you finish? Can I see it? Can you see what, Terry? We haven't done a project tonight. Nope, we're just talking about regular ink. Kathy, I don't know. I don't have a mug or a glass heat press, so I don't know. I've never used one, so that right there I don't have any knowledge on. Right now we're just talking about ink. So you can ink on mugs. You can also, you can ink on glass. But anything that looks like ceramic and that you can put in your oven, you can definitely heat set that way with the ink. Okay, definitely try again. Definitely try again. And I know that Tina's had some issues too with some of her stuff not like chipping off after a while. I haven't. You use a heat press to heat. Maybe that's an option too. I don't know. I guess that would probably be an option too, to use a heat press if you've got a mug press. What about inking on floor mats? Christine, I think it depends on what kind of floor mat you're using. If it's rubber, you'd want to use paste. I don't see how you could possibly heat set that, because the rubber ones are going to melt with heat. So I think it really depends on what kind of mat you're using for what you would do. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that one. I'm trying, you guys. I'll give you all the answers I've got. Cut mug press and use that, but I also use the oven a lot. Yep, both of them will work. Okay. You guys, I talked about the gel stain. This is very similar. Very similar to this wood stain. The only difference is that this does not have the potent odor like this stuff does. And it's a gel instead of being such a liquid. So it's a little bit easier to work with. I like the gel stains. I do. Okay. Now that I got it. Okay, what's next, you guys? I have a few other things that I can show you. So let's go ahead and look at the torch paste. Torch paste you can absolutely use in your transfers. It is water soluble, just like our paste is. Again, it's called a paste, right? Do you know if the tree vases are heat safe? I don't know what tree vases you're talking about, Teresa. I don't know what they're made out of. I'm not sure what you're talking about. If they're made out of glass, then yeah, they're heat safe. If they're made out of ceramic, then yeah, they're heat safe. Okay, so torch paste is also something that you can use through the transfers. This is what you're going to use. Okay, the Dollar Tree vases, as long as they're glass. Okay, you guys, there's also going to be a lot of great tips right here in the comments too. Okay, so you're going to use this right here if you want to torch on wood. And we did this not long ago. Let me see if I can grab it out here. This is the one on a cutting board with Charlie Brown. Okay, so what this does, you can put this through your transfer. You missed my question about using a brush with ink to write a word with. Yes, you can. You can absolutely paint with ink onto a textile. Yes, you can. Okay, so you can use this through your transfer, just like we did here with Charlie Brown. It's going to go on orange, and then you're going to have to use heat, like a heat gun, an actual heat gun. Similar to this, but this one's not even strong enough. When I ordered this one on Amazon, it's not hot, it doesn't get hot enough. It needs to get up to about 800 degrees. And then you're just going to dry over top of that, and you're going to torch all of that paste until your entire design turns black. Okay? So just like this one did. Then once you've done that, this is food safe, you guys. It's food safe. The torch paste, once you've torched it, your design is now food safe. So you can absolutely still eat off of this particular surface because it was done with torch paste. You love torch paste and pens. You have a lot of fun with it. Yes. So this right here is a product you can use through our transfers. And then I have another one, you guys, that yes, you can use it through the transfers, even though it's not really designed for it. And I haven't really checked around with it too much. But it's Pentart's modeling paste, okay? Does torch paste work on painted wood? Yes. Yes, it does. All right, so Pentart modeling paste is a little bit thicker. This is more something that I would use for stencils than I would for our transfers, quite honestly. But you can try this out with your transfers, and it will wash out because it is water-based. But this is something that's new to me, okay? Very, very, very new to me. And I tried this out last week by putting them in one of these to make some hearts, or to make some stars for the 4th of July. Like I said, you can do this. Let's check it out. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Because we can. Because we can. It says not to use on painted surfaces. Okay, well, I've used it on pasted surfaces. I don't know if that's any different. But I have used it on pasted surfaces. Carol says it says not to. So don't disregard what I just said. All right, I'm going to grab a transfer out here. This is a retired mini transfer. And we're going to see what happens with this stuff. I have not tried this stuff on a transfer before. I just know that you can because it's a paste and it's water soluble. And we're also going to do this thing again so you guys can see what it does. All right. Here we go. Let's check it out. Let's see what happens with this stuff. And if it might be too thick to go through the transfers. I don't think it is. Let's just see. It looks like it's the exact same, as our white chalk paste. Quite honestly. I don't see how that would be any different. Laura, my husband won't shut up. What do you, this right here is, it's Pentart modeling paste. And I just tried it through the transfer. You guys, you can definitely use this in a transfer. But I just tried it in transfer for the first time, and it really seems to be no different than our white paste. I'm putting it through a transfer. But what this stuff is great for, I will show you guys. Let me spray that down. I got that. I actually ordered it right from Pentart. I ordered it right from Pentart is where I got it. All right. Let me show you guys what it does. Where's my thingy at? I always lose my thingies. All right. I'm going to grab one of these spatulas. Wait until I'm over. But we're already at like an hour and a half, you guys. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you the rest of the stuff I've got out here. But I do have a lot of stuff out here. We'll work on some more of this later. I think that this is going to be it for tonight, though, okay? Because that's pretty much most of it. All right. So this right here, I'm just going to put this through. These are just star molds. And I'm just using a putty knife to put it in here. And then after I've got it in here, I'll use my squeegee and just squeegee off all the excess. These right here, Pentart, P-E-N-T-A-R-T, Pentart. Pentart. This, you guys, honestly, these right here are not the best molds for this. I will tell you that. The lace ones are the best ones. And that's what drew me to this stuff. I haven't got the lace molds yet. But you put it in there and then you just use your squeegee to squeegee off all of the excess. You'll let that sit and dry for 48 hours. At least 24, you guys, but more like 48 hours. And then you can pop that out. Y'all, I just saw it. I saw it and I liked it and I was like, I'm going to give this stuff a try, and I like it. And I don't sell it. It's not affiliated with our company. But it is water-based, and it's something you could use with the transfers if you wanted to. So I just put them right in my little molds like this. Let it sit for 48 hours. And when I pop them out, y'all, when I pop them out, I have these little stars right here that I've made with this Pentart modeling paste. But the great thing about these is that they're flexible. They're flexible. So if I wanted to put this around, you know, like the jar, I can put it around the jar and I can move it around and it's going to flex and go around all the different stuff without breaking. So I love this modeling paste for that reason. If I was going to do, and then it's paintable too. Okay. So that's something new that I just came across that I've been playing with a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not affiliated with them at all. I was just giving it a try. I want to get the lace ones because the lace one, like the lace of these is really great. The molds, and also any of the ones that have got like trim for molds. Those are really awesome too. Okay, you guys. Yes, earrings would be great. Yep, you could put them in earring molds and let them sit like that as well. So many different things you can do with that modeling stuff that I just decided to try out not long ago. But through our transfers, it really didn't do much more than the white paste would. Okay, y'all. Etching cream. Yeah, okay, we'll do one project real quick with etching cream. Because I got it out. And that's going to be the last of it for tonight because, you guys, it is getting late. So let me check this out real quick. I'm so glad you guys are learning stuff tonight. Okay, let's do this then. Hold, please. Hold, please. Just hold on for me. Hold on for just a minute, okay? Just a minute. Just a smidge of a minute. Okay, y'all, I have returned already. That was the shortest commercial break in history. right? Okay, here we go. Let's take one of these Dollar Tree frames. This is going to be a really fast project. You're never letting me go to bed. I see that. All right. You guys all got to get to bed sooner or later, too. Sooner or later. Yeah. Okay, so this is just a Dollar Tree frame, but this does have a glass insert in the middle of it. So let's do a very, very, very quick project. Very, very quick. Okay. I'm going to have so much to clean up in here. You knew you needed to see me tonight. All right, so this just has a little 4x4 glass piece. 4x4 glass piece that's in here. Let's go ahead and put this right here. Exactly. Sleep, what is it at? I know, right? I've got to get up in 7 hours to get my kids off to school. That's okay. That's okay. All right, here we go. What do I want to do? Let's just grab one of these minis. Let's grab a mini. This right here, it's a staple puller. It's by Arrow. I got it at Home Depot, but it's a staple puller, and I love it. And it's not even expensive. It's not expensive at all. All right, let me find one that's decent that I like. I don't want a student one. This one kind of sums me up. No, do not be embarrassed to ask questions. Don't ever be embarrassed to ask questions, because I'm glad to jump on with you guys and show you what different things do, okay? All right, so we're going to do the etching cream. You do want to make sure that you really, really fuzz your transfer first. And then we're going to put this right in the center of the glass. If I can get it in the center. Why can I not get it in the center? That's good, right there. Okay. You're so welcome. All right, etching cream. This is also available on my site. This is just for glass. Just for glass. Only glass. Okay. And I'm going to take a paintbrush. And we are going to paint over top of our transfer. You don't need to use a squeegee for this. You just want to paint it. And we want to get that etching cream on there. Okay, you can see that it's covered. And this is going to have a chemical reaction that works with that glass. And we're going to go side to side. We're going to go up and down. We really want to make sure that we get all of that covered with this etching cream, okay? All right, now, can anybody set a timer for me? I forgot how long. Okay. Oh no, Teresa, she says I gotta do jury duty in the morning. Ooh, gross. All right, now we're gonna pull off the transfer. And you can see the etching cream on there right now. It's definitely, oh shucks, you guys, I had a little piece of lint or something on the back of my transfer, and so I ended up with a smudge. That was totally my fault that I have a smudge on there. You guys can see my smudge. I know you can. But it was my fault because there is like a piece of dog hair or something right there on my transfer. Ugh! Okay. Anyway, that's what it looks like right now. Carol, set me a timer for 3 minutes, please. 3 minutes. And in that 3 minutes, you guys, let's do this. While we let that sit, you just have to let that sit for about 3 minutes. Okay? let's take this plain old Jane old frame here. This plain Jane frame. Plain Jane frame. We're going to do a simple project real quick, you guys. Real quick. Real quick. I'm going to grab some Waverly in black. We're just, this is going to go, like, while we're doing this timer, while we're doing the timer, I'm going to throw my paintbrushes all around, and we're going to make the quickest project ever, okay? Let's just paint this entire frame in black. Black ink. Trust the process, y'all. I literally just came up with this project in my head right now. This was not at all planned. But y'all wanted to see the armor etch. So here we go. Yes, you clean this transfer the exact same way with the etching cream. Absolutely. So I'm painting this, so I'm using my Waverly to paint it. Because this is a bigger surface and I don't want to use my chalk paste because, well, I can save that and use that in my transfers, right? This is what your Waverly's for. All right, y'all, my hands are going to get so dirty. Oh, let's do the inside too. I'm so sloppy painting this, y'all. So sloppy painting this. Y'all can do this a lot better than I can right now. Or a lot better than I am doing it right now. Somebody's going to let me know my 3 minutes is almost up, too. Or when my 3 minutes is up. All right, let me just dry a spot for my fingers real quick. 37 seconds left. Let's see if I can paint the rest of this thing in 37 seconds. Let's see. Likely not. Almost, though. Oh, Carol says stop. We'll let it go for an extra 2 seconds while I finish this up. All right. Get down in there. I really want to get down in those beads, but it's not wanting to go down in there. Okay. Painted the frame black. We'll just set that over here to dry for a sec. No, we won't. We'll set it down here. There's no room back there. There's no room back there. Waverly is from Walmart. Yep. All right. You guys. There it is. I found it. No, Diane, you do not. So etching cream you don't have to put in the oven because it etches your project instead of having to heat set it. Okay, so let's show you guys what etching cream does. So now that this is done, I'm going to take a piece of paper towel. Yes, you can definitely do more than 3 minutes. It needs to be at least 3 minutes. Piece of paper towel and some water, and I'm just going to spray this down. And I'm going to wipe off all of that extra etching cream. Everything that's left, I'm wiping off. Now you guys are not going to see this quite yet. Not quite yet. We're just getting rid of all of that excess etching cream. Good to go. There's still a part of it that's a little bit thicker. And then that's my spot where I had that air bubble. Okay. You guys. I have a piece of paper. It's just a gold metallic paper, you guys. I literally made this up like 30 seconds ago, right? Okay, 4.5 minutes ago. This is a 4x4. 3, 4. By 4. That had better fit. All right, same size, you guys, a 4x4. This is just a gold piece of paper. That's all it is. Let's get this back up here. I'm going to take a little bit of that. Oh, I'm getting paste all over myself. Or paint, or I think it's paint. I think it's paint. All right, quick project, you guys. Quick project. Let's take some of that gold gilding wax, because I like it so much. And I'm just going to take, you guys, one of these brushes. It's like a horsehair brush. And we're just going to go around the edge. And I'll use my finger to blend that in a little bit. This is that gold gilding wax. And this paint is still wet too. Totally not taking my time today. Just spreading this on here. No, John's already sleeping. The whole family's already sleeping. I'm always the last one up. Or the last one to go to bed. And John's always the first one up. All right, and then I'm just going to brush a little bit on these wood beads as well. Just to decorate this up a little bit. And you guys can see now what that gilding wax will do. Remember, that's oil-based, so that goes in there. And now this frame has just got a little bit extra pizzazz, right? It's so not dry. That's so not dry. Very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. All right, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to put in my piece of etched glass. And then my piece of gold backed paper behind it. And then this little piece that also came with this. Remember, this was just a Dollar Tree frame. And you guys, this is what happens with the etching cream. It etches the words right into the glass. That is permanent. And I'm hoping that you guys can see what that does. You're so welcome. Can y'all see look at the words in there? And it just, like, it's not chalked, it's not inked. It's literally etched into the glass. I know, right, Linda? Fastest project ever. Super, super fast. Turned out so stinking cute. So that's the etching cream. And you can use etching cream on your glassware that you're going to use like to drink out of. it does become food safe because it's actually etching into the glass. It's a chemical reaction that does, yeah. It's just like if you were to take wine glasses for a wedding party and have bride and groom etched onto them, it does the exact same thing. Okay? So there we have the fastest project ever. And you guys, y'all have worn me out. Can you use gold gilding wax on glass? I don't think that it'll stick very well to glass. I don't think it'll dry very well to glass, the gilding wax itself. All right. Y'all, it is past 11 o'clock. We've been going since 9:30. This mama's tired. Can you color it? I have tried to color it before, and I didn't like how it turned out. To me, it just kind of spread all over, and I could not, it didn't work very well for me. Does it work on acrylic? I don't know, Tina. I haven't tried it on acrylic yet. Have not tried it on acrylic yet. All right, you guys. Let me hold this up just so I got something for a picture for Facebook. Hopefully I get some kind of picture for my thumbnail. All right, y'all. That is it for tonight. You guys, I am always here for your questions, but I want you guys to be aware that if you have the question, somebody else probably has the same question. And I do sometimes fail to go back to just showing what a product does, and I apologize for that. Please, please, please just send me a message anytime that you need information about anything. And I will probably do a live about it if I can, because if you have a question, you're not the only one. I guarantee it. To the person who asked, I'm not going to call you out, to the person who asked the questions tonight, I want to thank you, because you can see that throughout the night, there were upwards of 100 people all watching, wanting the same answers that you needed. So please don't ever, ever be afraid to ask a question. Because you guys, there's actually a saying, right? You guys, the only stupid question is the question you don't ask. Okay? Never allow yourself to remain in the dark. It's better to learn than it is to remain without the knowledge. Okay? So I hope that really helps out. And if anybody else has any questions about anything, please do send me a message, because it really helps me to know what you guys still need to know and what I need to learn to teach you. Okay? Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I am exhausted. I am so stinking exhausted. Carol, I had those out here too, and I had other stuff out here too, but I'm just out of time, and I'm out of energy, and I want to go to bed. Yes, absolutely, Tarek. You are so completely correct about that. All right, y'all. That is it for me. You are so welcome. All right, you guys, that's it for me. I am going to finally go get some sleep. And again, tomorrow is my night off. So I will be back with you guys on Saturday. But you guys, just because I'm not here live on Friday nights doesn't mean that I'm not available for questions. Send me a message anytime. You guys, to me, I'm here as your guide and your mentor to answer your questions. And that is a job that doesn't stop. And I don't want it to stop. If I need to take the time, I'll get back with you when I can. But there's always time in a day to answer a question. So please, please, please don't be afraid to reach out, even on Fridays, because I'll get back with you, okay? All right, you guys, that is it. I will see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Love you all so much. Bye, everybody.